Have you ever told a lie? We've all done it. Sometimes it's a way to avoid embarrassment or dodge responsibility. But history is filled with some of the most outrageous and dangerous lies ever told. Take a look at some of these shocking falsehoods and discover the tragic consequences that followed. From cover-ups to fabrications, we reveal the truth about history's biggest lies. Bernie Madoff left world stock markets reeling as a result of his criminal activities. The disgraced financier defrauded thousands of investors of billions of dollars, making it the largest Ponzi scheme and financial fraud perpetrated in U.S. history. In 2009, Madoff was sentenced to an unprecedented term of 150 years in prison, where he died in April 2021. His infamous case has gone down as an example of a man willing to do anything for money. When the RMS Titanic was launched in 1911, the people who built it, Harland and Wolff, never claimed the liner was unsinkable. However, when White Star Line officials were made aware of the Titanic's collision with an iceberg on April 15, 1912, Vice President P.A.S. Franklin allegedly declared that they placed absolute confidence in the Titanic and that they believed it was unsinkable. As it turned out, the hubris of these words cost more than 1,500 lives when the ship eventually sank. The Titanic tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of overconfidence. For centuries, the story of the Trojan horse has been etched in our minds as a symbol of trickery and deception. It all began with the Greeks, who built a giant wooden horse with soldiers hidden inside. Unaware of the hidden agenda, the Trojans pulled the horse into their city, only to be caught unawares when the Greeks emerged from the horse and opened the gates for the rest of the army. Even today, a malicious computer program that misleads users into running it is referred to as a Trojan horse. The fateful decision to invade Iraq in 2003 was taken by the United States, the United Kingdom, and several coalition forces, based on their belief that the country, led by Saddam Hussein, had an active weapons of mass destruction (WMDs) program. Sadly, no evidence of WMDs or a WMD program was ever discovered in Iraq. This military campaign, marked by loss of life and immense destruction, was based on false pretenses and continues to have serious repercussions to this day, though it also brought about the downfall of a tyrannical dictator. Once the head of East Germany, Walter Ulbricht, declared in June 1961 that nobody has the intention of building a wall. But 2 months later, the construction of the Berlin Wall began. For almost 3 decades, it became a symbol of the Cold War, standing as a barrier between East and West Berlin. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 1989, the wall was finally torn down, signifying the end of a time of fear and separation. The Berlin Wall represented a tumultuous period in history, and its fall symbolized hope and unity. In 1921, Anna Anderson was admitted to a hospital, claiming to be the youngest daughter of the Romanov family who had escaped the 1918 massacre of her family. In 1938, Anderson filed a lawsuit to prove her identity but failed. When the Romanov family's remains were eventually located and DNA was taken, although none matched Anderson's. It was later revealed that Anderson was actually a Polish factory worker named Franziska Szankowska. Anderson passed away in 1984, her claims having been discredited. For over 50 years, a legend has been circulating suggesting that Paul McCartney of the Beatles died in 1966 and been replaced by a lookalike. Fuel was poured on the fire when the iconic Abbey Road album was released in 1969. The album cover showed the Beatle barefoot and out of step with the rest of the band, and the number plate of the VW contained the characters LMW 28F, which could be interpreted as McCartney's age if he had still been alive. Despite numerous attempts to debunk the rumor, it persists. Charles Ponzi, the infamous Italian con artist, is forever remembered for his lasting and enduring fraudulent scheme. In 1919, Ponzi designed a pyramid scheme that revolved around the buying and selling of international reply coupons. He persuaded investors to entrust him with millions of dollars by offering them huge returns. In reality, Ponzi just used the investments of later investors to pay his earlier ones. He is still infamous for the unstoppably destructive nature of his pyramid scheme. Milli Vanilli, the German R&B duo of Fab Morvan and Rob Pilatus, skyrocketed to fame in the late 80s and early 90s. But their success was short-lived, as their ruse was exposed during a live MTV performance. It was revealed that the vocals heard in their music releases belonged to other singers and not to them. The iconic song "Girl You Know It's True" that the two were lip-syncing to was emblematic of the scandal that rocked the music industry. In 1919, the Chicago White Sox faced a fateful decision: accept a massive bribe to lose the World Series or remain true to their fans. Sadly, some members of the team chose the former, taking as much as $1.5 million in today's money to throw the series to the Cincinnati Reds. The consequences of this scandal are still felt in the sports world today and are a salutary reminder of the importance of remaining true to one's principles. Donald Trump's presidency placed a heavy burden on fact-checkers. After taking office in January 2017, the president made plenty of bold statements that demanded to be verified. For example, Trump claimed his inauguration was attended by 1.5 million people, making it the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period. This number was later proven to be a vastly exaggerated figure. Trump's false claims kept fact-checkers on their toes, with the need to constantly verify his statements. Alfred Dreyfus, a Jewish officer in the late 19th century French army, was wrongfully accused of selling military secrets to Germany. He was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment on Devil's Island, a particularly harsh place. However, it was later revealed that the accusation was fabricated by Major Ferdinand Walsin Esterhazy. This sparked great controversy in France, further aggravated by novelist Émile Zola's accusations of a vast cover-up. The injustice towards Alfred Dreyfus brought to light a deep-rooted problem of anti-Semitism, prejudice, and inequality in France. Have you ever heard of bats living on the moon? In 1835, a series of articles appeared in the New York newspaper, The Sun, claiming that such creatures had been discovered and that the eminent astronomer Sir John Herschel was the source. However, it was later revealed to be a hoax created by Richard Locke, a reporter for the paper. This strange story has been passed down through the ages, a reminder that not everything we read is necessarily true. In 1934, the Daily Mail published a photo of the alleged Loch Ness Monster, causing much of the United Kingdom to believe in its existence. However, the monster turned out to be nothing more than a toy submarine with a head and neck made of wood putty, a clever hoax that had been kept under wraps for decades. From Scotland's picturesque lochs to the collective imagination of the UK, the hoax had a lasting effect on the world, still remembered to this day.